Okay. Little dance.
Good morning.
Let's relax. Let's relax.
Let's relax. We're relaxing before.
Yes.
You're gonna teach us some breathing techniques, Claudia?
Yes.
Okay.
So-
That's awesome. Well, welcome
morning,
to FloVation,
everybody.
guys.
Hello.
Hello.
What's
Hello,
going
everyone.
What's going on, guys? How you guys doing today?
Very
I'm
good.
good.
Very good.
I'm doing well.
You're doing well. You're doing swell.
I'm doing swell.
I love it.
Swell.
It's Welly.
Yeah, we got Raquel back on the mic.
Hello.
We missed you last week.
And the crowd cheers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my dream. That's my dream. I want all the kids to be
boo?
like, Raquel,
Oh.
Raquel. I'm like, yeah.
Don't they say your last name though?
Yeah, they don't believe I have a first name.
Miss Bañate. Miss Bañate.
Are you a teacher?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Come on, boys and girls, louder. Just kidding.
That's the whole
so
purpose.
Yeah.
That's what you got into teaching, to get the cheer. to
That's
get,
right. The
yeah.
slow clap.
For the praise.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The constant recognition.
You
Okay.
have to. It's all right.
Nick,
Yeah.
let's not start so early.
That's awesome. It's
That's
good,
great.
right?
Thank you, thank
It's good to see you guys. It's everybody's back.
Yes.
we
And
got
we
a-
have a new guest.
We got a special
Hello,
guest.
everyone.
Hey.
This is Claudia Angeles,
Yes.
better known in
Claudia,
my family
what- how
as
do you say it?
Angeles.
Angeles.
What's on? What?
Angeles.
That's her
like
last
Angeles,
angels.
like Los
Angels.
Angeles.
Like
Yeah.
angels, bro.
Dang.
She
Come on.
created
Yes.
this place right here.
Yeah.
That's why it was called Los Angeles, because
Because of her.
yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, that's
No.
how we do things, bro. So at church, they know her as my aunt,
Yes.
but in reality, she's my cousin.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
We've said this
Huh?
story many
But
times.
her-
Yes.
yeah.
I've never heard the story.
Her
Yeah.
all cousin, like
You
not,
introduced
yeah,
me
as the
as if-
auntie.
Yeah.
as
Yes.
your aunt.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll always keep doing it. It's just I've been used to it since I
So
was
you
a
build
kid.
our relationship on lies.
Kind of. Yeah, not just ours, but the whole church.
Yes.
So-
I know. I literally
I thought
she
you
was
were
your
different.
aunt.
You know.
Well,
You know?
I'm actually I am. Yeah, I really am.
Yeah, like,
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. My kids are the same age as
Yeah.
Eder and his brothers.
Yeah.
So that's why
Okay.
it was always been
Mm.
so hard for me to treat them as
Mm-hmm.
my cousins, you know. So
Yeah.
I
It's
know that
weird.
they're
Yeah.
little.
It's weird. It's like
Yeah,
telling
it's
your
weird,
kids
so-
something else.
And I remember since they're little, they always call me aunt. So it's okay.
There you go.
I thought she was my aunt till I realized that she wasn't. She's my cousin.
Yes.
I didn't know this.
And what'd you do? What age were you?
I think I was like
Like,
teens, right?
Yes,
Maybe?
like teens. Yeah.
Maybe when I realized that, like,
and then you're
wait,
like, oh, what?
yeah, she's not my
She's
aunt.
not my aunt.
Yeah. So now it's
But
but
in our
but
in our culture, there's a
I
lot
will
of
feel
cousin
really
aunts.
weird if they call me cousin at this point.
Yeah.
It's like, no, yeah.
All of a sudden they change it. Oh, cousin, how are you?
yeah.
No.
That's so
That's-
funny. I have a uncle that is my sister's age, so 2 years older than I am, and I don't call him Theo.
yeah.
No.
I call him Primo, but why? Because he's young.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm
you
like,
see?
well, I'm not gonna. He's like, I'm your uncle. I'm like, we would always laugh. We just laugh. He's like, I'm your uncle. You have to do whatever we say. I'm like, we just all laugh.
Yeah. Well, her
Yeah.
kids, I introduced them as my cousins. In
Oh.
reality,
Yeah.
I'm their uncle, which is
Yes,
kind of
I
exactly.
feel deceived.
weird.
Yeah.
You feel like you
Oh,
can't trust
you
me
know, I
anymore.
have a sister that she's younger
Oh,
than
yes.
my daughter.
Oh,
Oh, that's
wow.
true.
Yes,
Yeah.
my daughter, she was 3 years older than my sister.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
So
she
it was
so
her.
weird. Yeah, that was her.
Mm.
Yeah, but they never seen each other like that. You know, it's like
yeah.
Yeah,
the-
what-
What
Weird.
did they call each other? Like,
just by their name. You know, like
Yeah.
Bunny and. She was calling Bunny only like that. Or
No,
even
like-
my kids, they never call her tia.
Yeah.
My
so
other Irvin and Dorian, they don't call her tia.
how would
it's
they
Bunny.
introduce her? Like, oh, this is my.
No, my aunt. Yeah, of course they do say she's my aunt, but
Yeah.
they don't, but in between them is like it's so weird.
Bunny,
They said,
yeah.
because she's 28 now,
Yeah.
and Irvin he's 27.
Oh wow. Yeah. So that's
So
kind of
it's
hard.
like
That is, yeah.
yeah.
That's
That
interesting.
is.
Yeah.
Do you have
Yeah.
any uncles like that?
That
No.
you- no.
Took so long for that.
Because I had to think, I'm
response.
like, do I have any cousins that are my uncle? that are my cousins?
You're like,
Yeah.
let me
You know
go.
what?
That in
Do you
reality,
have
yeah.
any other deceivers in my family?
Yeah. No, he's really thinking about it.
I am.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's giving it. We're gonna get
Cousins
we're-
that are your
We're gonna give him a nice soon.
Cousins that are really your uncle. No.
No, cousins that are
Your
Cousins.
aunt
uncles
or
that are
uncle.
really your cousins.
No,
Yes.
No, that's what
No.
he's saying. He doesn't.
no,
Nah, he doesn't.
because how would it? Yeah, no, that because it would be. I'm assuming you guys have a big family.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, like
Oh,
a lot of
yes. A
siblings.
huge
Yeah,
family.
yeah.
Yeah. Do.
No,
Yeah, we do.
Not yet. Not you.
Yes.
No.
Well,
No.
my grandpa got married after my grandma died, so he remarried, and that's why we have an uncle that's 2 years older than I am.
Oh, okay, okay.
Oh.
Okay.
I mean, if not, then it's pretty long. That's a lot of years.
Man, I'm really thinking about it. No.
I love that.
Aw, poor you.
Hey, it's okay.
It's okay.
What do
we
you
say
want?
tia, tío,
What-
primo, prima.
I'll let Emmett call you Theo. All right. Or-
No, you call Emmett tío.
Yo, you call
Oh, there you
You
go.
call
He
Emmett
calls
tío.
me dad.
Oh, that was not funny.
No, you don't get it. Oh, she doesn't.
No, I was gonna tell. Yeah, I was just gonna tell. Take the responsibility.
No, it was because he has two dads.
Yeah, we always mess around with that when we go to
But
the.
he doesn't.
Yeah,
doesn't.
yeah.
Yeah.
She was like,
I know.
like, dude, hey,
Inside jokes mean you have to be inside.
inside, yeah, inside the circle. Which,
Yeah.
sorry,
The
Raquel,
circle
you
for-
weren't. Yeah.
He's his family.
So for our listeners and our viewers, we mess around when we go to the store or something. Then it's Nick, Emmett, and I, and then they'll be like, oh, they're gonna think that we're his
Something's
dad.
new. Kevin and I are dating.
Oh my God.
I knew it. I knew it. I called it.
Is that
I
why
knew
he's
it.
not here?
Yeah.
No.
Nick's the little
You
spoon.
guys are crazy.
Nick's the little
Look
spoon.
at him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's over there.
Kevin, he's all shaking his head.
No, he's all shaking his booty.
Hey.
Oh
And
my
from what we
God.
know from last podcast, he has a lot of booty. Hey.
That's what you said?
Yeah.
Not even long story short, long story short.
Long booty short. I love you, man.
Poor Kevin, he's not
Hey,
even
don't talk to him that way.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Oh
don't
my
talk to my
God.
man that way.
He
Okay.
can't even defend himself right now.
Hey, if you would have listened to the podcast last week,
All
you
right,
would have known.
I
You would have
will.
known.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just,
You were not here last week?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was
We
absent.
had Kevin.
Oh, all right.
Kevin was taking over the mic.
Yeah, but Kevin's just not as good as I am. So
Oh,
I'm giving him-
rivalry. Okay.
Oh,
Well, that's good, man. So it's awesome seeing you guys. It's good. We're getting
Thank
back
you.
to the flow of 2020.
Mhm.
Yes,
And, you know,
yes.
Today like I said, we have a amazing special guest, which is
Yes.
Thank you,
my,
guys.
Aunt Claudia, and and yeah, we want to hear
Your story.
the story of Claudia. Who's Claudia?
Yes.
And what has God done in your life? Because we know you, I know you, but I feel like the world needs to hear what you're all about. So that's like, Norma said like we should invite her over. I was like, dude, that's amazing. Yes, let's do it. And thankfully you had the
Yeah,
time to
thank
do it
you.
today. So thank you so much
Yeah.
for
Thank
taking
you
the
for
time
inviting me.
and coming over. We appreciate it, and we can't wait to hear what you got.
hear everything.
Yeah, to
Okay.
hear the story,
Yes.
to hear just all the details or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot of details.
There is a lot to say, but like,
Yeah.
It's
first
okay.
of all, I want to say that I'm so grateful because God has done in my life an amazing things.
Mm.
I have gone through very hard times, especially recently, as you know, because my daughter passed away. But I learned also a lot. I learned so much of this experience. I know that God has a different plan for me and her.
Mhm.
Like as a mothers, you're thinking, oh, they're gonna grow up, she's gonna get married, and I'm gonna go first for sure, But it didn't happen that way, so it was really hard for me.
Mhm.
And I always saying that thank God I was in spiritual, I was in the different level already,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it makes me see things different.
Mm.
The pain is the same, but I look at the good things that I learned at church because I wasn't as close to. Maybe I was close to God, but not in this way. It was
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
like they raised me like Catholic
Mhm.
um, and religion, and I was not even going to church. Like I believe a lot of people, and so it happens that one day my sister, that she also passed away 7 years ago, uh, she told me that there's that invite her to I believe it was a live group, and she met Pastor Aaron, and
Mhm.
she was so impressed about it.
Wow.
She was like, I want to share this with you. It was so amazing. I didn't know it was gonna be like that. I thought it was gonna push me to go to church, blah blah blah. But he was an amazing guy, and I love it. And I'm like, oh, cool. But I just listened to her like anything else. And 2 months later, my sister got the plastic surgery, and she passed away.
Mhm.
Wow.
And that was a big tragedy for us. Something not expecting, super young. And she did something very happy for herself to look good, and things went wrong, and she passed away. So I remember the day that we were at the hospital, and the doctor said that it was nothing to do anymore. Um, the first thing came to my mind, it was that moment that she told me that she met Aaron, and that she
Wow.
likes him a lot, how he speak about God.
Yeah.
And I called my uncle, and I said, this is the situation. Can you please invite your friend here? And he's like, sure. So yeah, Pastor Aaron and Pam, they were there until of course, we have to decide to finish with disconnect, because she was gonna be like a vegetable. So, and it was a very big decision for me, because everybody in my family was really bad. So nobody had the mind to think what to do, what was the best for her. So I remember Aaron was there, and Pam, and I talked to them for like a few minutes, because everybody, they were like, what we gonna do, Of course, as the family, we all wanted like to hear something good,
Yeah.
but it was time to time, doctors were keep saying like, oh, nothing to do anymore, nothing to do anymore. So, and I said to Pam, I'm like, I don't know what to do, I mean, like, because everybody I didn't know that I was a part of my family, that I was important for everybody, but everybody was come to me, like,
Yeah.
what we gonna do, what we gonna do. And it was a heavy thing for me to decide what to do,
Yeah.
And I remember I told them, I don't know what to do. I'm so desperate. I don't know how I'm gonna tell my mom and her kids that there is
Yeah.
nothing to do.
Mhm.
And she just said, let's pray together, and God is gonna guide you to do it.
Mhm.
And believe me, this is the way it happens, really.
Yes.
Like,
Wow.
I didn't understand how, but in the very peaceful way, things came along, like, I talked to them, and I said, this is the situation, and we have to let her go. She cannot be here like this, and with us like this, and this, because she's never gonna wake up anymore. I mean, that was said.
Mhm.
So everybody was agreeing, and after that, um, I was asking myself all the time, like, why I was like this, why I didn't feel different. I thought I was gonna be desperate, crying, like, and it didn't happen that way.
Mhm.
I, I just noticed that I was feeling, like I said, I was suffering, but I was feeling strong enough to go through it, to help my siblings, because, like I said, my mom and everybody was really, really bad,
Mhm.
especially her kids, her husband. So at that point, I knew myself that how God it was so good to me, not only in that moment, but sometimes we don't see it,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Years before, I was married to my kid's father, and I was with him for 12 years, and I had a really bad relation with him. Like, he used to abuse me, physical and psychological, like really bad. And I ending finally the relation with him. Thank God,
Mhm.
because I always think like if I was with him, probably he was gonna kill me or something, but it was gonna happen. In all these years, I was like, like everybody was hard for me to raise my kids, the work, blah blah. But always everything it was going good. So in that point, when that happened to my sister, I thought like, I mean, God always has been with me, but I
Mhm.
never realized. I never pay attention, because that's true. When you are good, you don't even think about God. You
Yeah.
just think, oh.
Yeah.
So in that moment, I realized, oh my God, really, God has been always with me. It's me the one I never want to see it.
Yeah.
I never want to give a part of my life for Him, really, or to have a relationship with Him,
Yeah.
really. So that's how it happens. So I started going to church after that. And I like it and I like it. And it was making me feel good because it was the hard times for the family. So 1 year later, my daughter, she got diagnosed with lung cancer at the age of 25.
Yeah.
So that was another thing that it shook my life, like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But thank God I was already in church. So I could see the things different, I could see that. I remember Pam always said, if there is a life, there is a hope.
Yes.
If so I was like,
good.
I know God, He's gonna do something good. I know He's gonna do something good. So it was a tough time, especially seeing my daughter. For one day she was perfectly fine. I got that she was running here and there,
Mhm.
studying, being happy. And they did the surgery, and the next after 5 hours after, she wasn't able to move anymore because she lost all her right side became really weak. So that was the first thing that we faced, and it helped me as a human because um, I realize how important is for us all this that we'll see, like
Yeah.
your hand. There is a reason why
Yeah.
we have it. Why
Yes.
is so? In that moment, it was, but also it helps me to see that my daughter suddenly became a girl that just she couldn't do anything anymore by herself. We had to be with her 24/7, 24/7. And it was harder and harder and harder because she was very strong girl.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't a strong woman.
Such an independent woman. Too.
And it was really, really hard for her. And for me, I was asking God every single day, like, please help me how to talk to her. What do I have to say that is going to make her feel good?
Mhm.
So and we start this 4 years and a half. Things one day it was good, the next day it was very bad, another day it was good, another day it was very bad. So I think that if it wouldn't be because of God, I don't know if I was gonna be able to go through. It was very hard time for me. Not only for me, for my kids.
Mhm.
And also, like I said, Pam, she was a very, very she sup- she was a big support for me. And she lost her son in between that transition that I was going to.
Yeah.
And to see her how strong she was after and everything, it makes me. She always inspired me. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, God, if you're with God, you can do it.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good. And also one day she was praying for Bere. That's my daughter's name. She was praying for her, and that it was something that stayed on my mind, in my brain, because she was saying like, God, please, bring bring all the health back to Bere. If it's not here in the earth
Yes.
with you,
Yes.
Yeah.
and that's something that I repeated myself every time I was praying for my daughter.
Mhm.
And it was hard for me to accept it, but and then I said, yeah, I mean, I know that either here or in heaven, but I want her to be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
And this is how I was going all the 4 years and a half, like always thinking, God, please give me the strength. Tell me how to talk to my baby. Tell me what to tell her to feel good. Also with my boys, because my boys were really, really, they were really
Challenge.
involved,
Yes.
Mhm.
like big time
Yeah.
with my daughter. So it was a very hard transition for us. So every single day praying for the same thing. And it happens. That's how it happens. Like when she was already in her last moments, I was very, very relaxed. I have a lot of peace. And I said, God, I mean, I'm giving you here one of my best gifts in my life.
Yes.
You give it to me one day with all this love, the same way I give it back to you
Wow.
Yes.
with the same love, because I know nobody love her more than you,
Mhm.
not even me, and I know
Mhm.
she's gonna be good in your hands.
Yes.
So this is how the impact that I had since I'm with God is that I learned that God is everything for me in my life. He's my strength, my love, my everything. And this is how I apply it in my life, and I don't anything that it happens, I know that it happens for a reason. I know that he wants me as his good daughter, and he wants me to be good, and he wants me to tell people
Yeah.
what happened
Yes.
in my life, and I'm like this, that I feel good no matter what all these situations.
Yeah.
Because that was a big, he knows. Also in between that, my dad passed away the same way.
Wow.
Like,
Yes.
It was a sudden death. Yeah.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was my sister. The year after, it was my daughter. And then the year after my dad, I went to visit them. He started feeling sick, and 2 weeks later, he passed away. So it was, things, it was crazy
Mhm.
things. But every time I was just praying, 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 and I could go through it. I could go through it. I heard some people just to tell me like, oh, someone once he mentioned like, oh, what did you did good and bad in life that God is punishing you? I'm like, no
Mm.
Wow.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
that's
like,
how they think.
I know that there is nothing because I did anything wrong. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yep.
this is just maybe God wanted to use me for other people
Yes.
Yeah.
to see
Yeah.
how good He is,
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes.
even during these moments.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Because He gave me the strength to go through it,
Yeah.
to help my daughter, to help my kids, and to look at the things in the bad situation, to look things good,
Mm-hmm.
to always feel like I know it's gonna be okay. I know it's gonna be okay. Even if that okay is gonna go is she's not gonna be here with us, but I know
Yeah.
at one point this is gonna be okay.
Yes.
And now it's okay. I know she's good. I know she's not
Mm-hmm.
suffering anymore with
Mhm.
all these things that she was going through.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm so uh, grateful every single day in my
Yes.
life.
Wow.
Yes. And you carry her with you every
Yes,
day.
yes,
So
yes.
I remember one of the things you said, that you didn't feel that she was in her box. You felt her,
Yeah,
like, even when you would go to work. And I think that's one of the things that God gives us with, like, so you know that everything's okay, that so you can be at peace with it. But yeah, she was amazing. She was still a character of herself even to the end of her days. I remember I moved her hair and she got mad at me because I messed up her hair. She was
yeah,
awesome. She was awesome. And I think God just places all these moments in our lives to grow us and to show his grace and his peacefulness. Because honestly, like, you wouldn't experience that anywhere else, you
yeah. I
know?
know. I see other people around me that very close families, and they went through the same thing. Unfortunately, one of my ex-husband brothers, his son, he killed himself,
Mm.
and after today's day, it's already been almost 3 years. Um, the father and the mother, they're suffering so much.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
They're so sad. They're bad, and I keep praying for them because I always think like if you are not with God, it's hard for you to see the.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, like I said, I suffer sometimes because I miss my daughter. I
Of
want to
course.
hug her.
Mhm.
It's something that as a human being, like you need to have that. But I always go back to the same thing. Like, okay, I know that she's good and better
Mhm.
place. But for them, when anytime I talk to them, they are so upset. And I said, wow, like, thank God I'm in this side.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's always asking me, like, no, it's because you are very strong, because I think that you are like doing good. And I'm like, no, it's not what you think. It's not that I'm very strong, believe me.
Yeah.
It's no. It's the same thing. The way that you feel because you lost your son, that's the way that I feel.
Yes.
That's the same pain because we're
Yeah.
mothers.
Mm-hmm.
But the only difference is like, if you know God, believe me, things
It
are
changes
different.
everything.
Change
Yeah.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It truly changes everything.
It's powerful. I mean, I can't imagine. You know, she was my cousin. I loved her, and I still love her dearly. But I can't imagine the pain that, at that, seeing your daughter for 4 years, that the pain that she was going through, and as a mom, um, what you were going through as well. I know when I see my son, he has a small flu, he has a small, temperature, and I'm going crazy. It's like I want to get him all the medicine, that I
Yeah.
can get him at that time, and to see how, and to hear it, as well as how strong you were, and it's not just because of your own strength, it is
It's
because
God's strength.
you knew that you have God with you, and
Mhm.
he was giving you the
Yes.
strength. But again, I can't imagine what you went through, and it's like, she's my cousin, but the love that I have for her is different from the love you had for her.
Mhm.
And it for me, it's like, that's why I knew, like, today, you had to be here. People need to hear this. And I just love the way you see things, and it's very difficult for a lot of people to see it your way.
Mhm.
And I know there's been some times where people, even, they barely know you, or you
Yeah.
work in the fashion industry,
Mhm.
and they come into the store that you work in, and you're very
They have no
happy.
idea.
Yeah, you're happy, you're taking care of them, and she's like this, and if you see her at church,
All the time.
you would never know
Yeah.
that this amazing testimony is gone taking place, right, somehow. And you've shared a couple of stories where
Yeah.
you're able to share your story with some of your clients.
Mhm.
Can you share maybe one of
Yeah, of
them
course.
for us?
One of them is like, I'm trying to keep that very like not to be professional at my work, But
Yes.
once I was telling Eder that I had this client that one of those days that I was not in the mood, and I was a little mean with the client, and she started talking to me very nice, very nice. And then suddenly she's telling me like, "Can you please help my daughter?" And she took me to the side and she goes like, she has cancer, and I want her to be happy, and I want her to find a nice dress
Oh.
because
Wow.
of this, because of that. Oh my God, that touched me right away, And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God. And I start, because there is days that I'm like, oh, I don't want to deal with the clients. But God always put that on me. Like,
Yeah.
He faced me with that, and I'm like, Claudia, you go to church. They tell you to be humble, to be this, to be that. So it's not their problem that you're not in the mood today. I'm thinking in my head. So I changed that. I changed my shift right away, and we started talking. And I said, and then I tell her because she said, no, I'm not in the mood. I'm going through something really hard. I have cancer, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And I said, no, you got to be happy. Has your treatment. And we start talking. And then I said, oh, my daughter, she has cancer. Oh, yeah, which kind of cancer? Lung cancer. And I said, that you have to you believe in God? Yes, I do. And I said, just pray every day. God is there for you, and don't worry. You're going to be good, blah, 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 blah. And then she told me, so how old is your daughter? And I said, well, she was gonna be 32 soon. And she said, what do you mean? And I said, no, my daughter, she's already with God. And she's like, oh no, how long? And I said, oh, like that was like probably when it was 7 months
Mhm.
after she passed. And she said, no, Claudia, don't tell me that. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine this. You look so relaxed. And I said, yeah, because I just told you. I believe in
Yes.
God's promise, what God promised to us.
Yes.
And He
Yes.
promised a beautiful place, peace and happiness. And I believe that she's enjoying that already.
Mhm.
So, and I said, and you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You're going to be good. Oh my God, you should see. We start crying, all of us there. The mother, her, and I. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. Like, I don't want they catch me here. My boss is going to get pissed. And they, oh, you don't know. They were like, oh my God, you don't know, Claudia, a lot, hugging me, this and that.
Wow.
And that's not the first time. Many other times it happened to me. That is just the moment that I have to talk because I think that they're going through something. Oh my God, they were so happy. After 2 days, they call me. They're always sending me messages like,
Wow.
oh, I'm doing very good. Thank you. God bless you. Thanks for that day we pray. We
Wow.
prayed together. I'm still ashamed sometimes to pray in front of people. But that day we did it, three of us.
Wow.
And it was so nice. So that made me feel good. That made me feel happy. That
Mhm.
this happened in my life, but not because it happened for a reason.
Mhm.
And if I feel that if I share that to other people to help them to feel better, that's already very good for me.
Yeah.
This is what my daughter gave me in the end, to give that, to embrace it and share with other people so people can have sometimes happiness where there is no happiness. There is
Yeah.
moments that people they're in bad things, and that's good for me. I like it.
Yeah. And I mean, you talk about it with such grace. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, when people talk about losing somebody that's close, it's hard for me to, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. The only thing I know what to do is like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and listen to you, and then that's it. But you have something so powerful where you can relate to them, and you bring this sort of like
Peacefulness.
like something that's bigger, not good advice. It's like if they really take what you said, like Jesus, it's gonna give them so much more. It's the gift that keeps giving,
Exactly.
and that's amazing because it's hard to talk about it, but the way that it's it's like the gospel, like something that is so painful and ugly. Out of that hurt came something so amazing. You know what I mean? Which
Yes.
is just like her story, her testimony just keeps blessing lives, and it's like you and so it's like it's like what the world takes as what's bad, God uses it as good.
Exactly.
It's just, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's wow.
And I think that's the way it should be,
Mhm.
because
Yes.
I mean, like I said, it he planned this for us,
Yes.
for me and her, because she was my best friend. You know what I mean? Like he knows.
Mhm.
Like,
Yep.
I mean, I have my daughter when I was 16, so
They already knew each other. They knew
yeah,
each
we
other.
used to go out, party together. We were just best friends, and imagine it was such a hard thing for me to see.
Mhm.
And like, she was my best friend. She was a woman, but in that moment, she was like my baby.
Yeah.
She was like my baby, just like that. And I told a friend the other day, you don't know, if it wasn't for God in my life, you don't know how hard it is to see that big lie going smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
And I said, that's something that was, it was a moment that I didn't know what to say. I swear. And for example, the time that they told us that it was nothing to do anymore. That's something that is like, oh, really. And I remember we had the moment quiet, all of us, because we used to go always to the appointments, my boys, her and I. We
Mhm.
were always with her.
Mm-hmm.
So the doctor, he said, hey, Leslie, I'm sorry, I know you guys are not gonna like to hear this, but there is nothing to do anymore. Nothing. And she looked at me with her eyes already with tears. And I had this hair that it was killing me. And I just did what I'm doing now. I just breathe and I just give it a hug. And I said, don't worry. They tell us this already 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They told us you have
The
1
same
month.
thing.
Wow.
And I told you that day too. Only God. He is the only one he's gonna say when.
Mhm.
Yes.
Nobody else.
Yeah.
And I said, don't worry. We're gonna find something else. And we left the place. We went to have lunch that day. We were quiet, all of us in the car. And then we were having lunch, and then she goes like, mom, you're right. we're gonna find something else because I don't want to die. And then so we all start laughing. And we say, yes, we're gonna find something else. And then, we were a really good team. And like I said, especially my boy. So my boy, he started searching for another treatment. We found another treatment in Texas. He ordered it, blah, blah. And but it was amazing, God, really, because he could make from the very, very sad time a good time for us because
Yes.
he was giving us more of that power. Like, no, let's look something else. You don't want to die, you're not gonna die, and this and this and that. So, or like I told you, the last few hours that she was with us, same thing. Uh, that I was telling her that my friend that day, but I said, to be there next to her and knowing that that was her last minutes, hours, whatever. But also, I remember going on my knees and really asked to God, like, please, that's it. I want her to be happy.
Mhm.
If you really want her, please don't make her suffer anymore. Just give me the strength that I need, and for my boys. And this is for you. Like I told you, you gave it to me one day. I given it back to you. But I'm happy that she's gonna be good. But please do it. So I told my friend for me to say this as the mother, because that is something hard, the very hard thing. Believe me, it wasn't because of me. It was because God was giving me that moment to feel peace and to say, this is the right thing, Claudia. She needs already to finish with this situation. Yeah. So yeah. And like I said, I'm happy. And I always tell my boys, like, just because of that she fights so much to be here with us, because now I understand that probably she was doing it more for us than even for her.
Yeah.
And to be so strong and to fight for her to be happy in this life. This is what we have to do to honor her,
Yes.
to be happy, to continue with our lives, to go everywhere and say that God, He was so good with us. And that's why we are here today, like this.
And he gave us the opportunities to be with them and be around them, laugh with
Exactly.
them. I think all those moments, if we never had them, then it wouldn't be the same.
And there is still good things. At least that's the way that I feel. I have two amazing boys, amazing men
Mm-hmm.
that they made me very strong too. They're very good boys. And I said, I mean, why I'm not gonna be happy? Why I'm not gonna be when I'm not gonna say thanks to God every single day?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they are,
Yeah.
I
I mean,
I've
thank God
never
God has
seen it.
given them peace as well. Like so much that they have grown out of this because as the same way it was affecting everyone, I mean, the peace that has come over them too.
Yeah, and I think I think, I mean, I'm not sure, but I think seeing you being strong and being able to in the most difficult times and like kind of holding it together,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I don't know how, like like I said, like I see my son and like I want to do it. I can't put myself in your shoes, but you're, Irving and Dorian, I've never seen such amazing like siblings, man.
Yeah.
They like,
They went over the
man,
moon.
it was just like seeing them like do teamwork. It was like they already had the routine down, and it was like, and they didn't just do it just to do it. You could
No.
see the love they that they had for for their sister while they were doing these
Yeah.
things. And they would, talk to her and make sure that she was taking her medicines even when she didn't want to take her medicine. And I remember one time I was like sitting in the kitchen in your house, and Betty was super mad, like, I'm not gonna take that. And Irving was like, yes you are, you need to take your medicine. And he was like literally getting mad at her.
Yeah.
And I was
And
like,
she was mad at him.
they were going back and like, no, I'm not gonna take it. And he's like, you are. And she ended up taking it, but like with a face, she would make a face like, do like whatever, like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing this for you, okay?
Yeah.
But just them going back and forth and talking and seeing Dorian and Irving just work together as a team with their mom. It was just beautiful to see how that happened. Like I've never seen something
Such a
like it.
beautiful family.
Yeah, it was just amazing. It's just such an example
Yes.
to like to go by, you know.
Yeah.
Although they have this situation going on, but it's like, okay, we're gonna tackle it as a team. We're gonna take it as a team, and we're gonna work on it. And you know what? I love how, you know, you would say the doctors would tell, you know, she would go to the doctors like, oh well, there's nothing we can do, and I already, you know, they've told me many times like, well, whatever, we're not gonna believe what he said, and
Yeah.
like how Claudia was saying, like they
Yeah.
would do their research, they would just, and they get down to they'll read like the finest print on anything,
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
like
Yeah.
they'll ask.
Yeah.
They didn't care about like if the doctor told them something. They weren't
No.
just the type to be like, okay, like nah, like
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were on it. Like, why did you tell me that?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you gonna tell me next? So how can we do? And they were in the doctor's face,
Yeah.
like, and that's just awesome to see from somebody that, you know, this is you know, this is my sister, and we're gonna be here. It doesn't
Yes.
matter what we're going through, but we're gonna hold on to to this family. We're gonna keep on working. So
Yeah.
just to see them work it, oh man, it was just it's just a blessing, you know, and it's a great example of how how to get along with your siblings, you know? It's
Mhm.
like just like the love was there, you know, it was mutual, and it was
Yeah.
just beautiful to see. It was just a great example. They're amazing kiddos. I mean, I say kiddos, but
They're men.
they're men already, you know. But
Yeah, they're mentoring.
yeah,
They're men
No, but
already.
no, that was you
such a
know,
blessing.
even if a lot of people from the hospitals they know us already,
Mhm.
but they know us especially because of them.
Mm.
Yes, because they couldn't believe. Many times they thought it was my son, the oldest one. She was the oldest, and then Irving, he was the one. He was most times with her.
Mhm.
So because this is something that we actually agree, because Dorian and him they were in university both. So when that happens, Irving he said, "No, I mean you need help. How are we gonna do it? Because somebody has to work, you know, and
Mhm.
I needed to work." So Irving he says, "Don't worry about it. We're gonna fix it here somehow." But he was the one he was spending the most times with her. So most of the doctors and nurses they thought it was her boyfriend because they couldn't believe as
Yeah.
no, and
Yeah.
many times they tell her all the time, Leslie, you have such an amazing family and amazing brothers.
Yeah.
I never seen a brother come here every single day, staying
Mhm.
here,
Yeah.
Wow.
being on top of every single treatment, because my son he was searching every single treatment. It, they anytime she used to feel they were taking her in the ambulance, right away when we were getting there, they wanted to give her steroids, and it was making her feel very sick.
Mhm.
So it was the point that my son he says, "No, you're not gonna. No, I'm not gonna let you put no steroids. I want to see um the CT scan or the MRI that it says that she needed."
Mm.
So they were just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to talk to the doctor. I want the doctor to come and explain to me what's going on, why you gonna give it to her. And they were telling us like, oh, so you guys have to sign that if something happens, I'm gonna sign it, but I need to talk with the doctor. She's
Mhm.
not taking anything.
Yeah.
I don't want you to put an IV until we know, because after so long and because she was so skinny, she has already
Mhm.
a problem with all the veins. So he was like, no, I need to call the doctor. So that was something like not too long ago. I think I told you it was in a special. They did a special ceremony at USC.
Mm.
Like it was like 6 months ago, I think, and they invited us because
Wow.
Mm.
they did it for a lot of the patients that unfortunately they passed away too. So they did it and they called us and we went there, and it was so nice because
Oh.
every doctor they choose a certain patient, and one of the doctors chose Leslie. So
Mm.
he was talking about her and about the family, about the
Oh.
brothers,
Wow.
and that
Wow.
was very very nice. It
Mhm.
was very nice, and again they were saying that was amazing because Irving and Dorian used to shower her,
Mhm.
taking her every day, one day to swimming classes, another day to yoga, running, walking. It was the thing every single day for us to do
Wow.
with her. He went to Cuba to bring some medication from there. We researched so many things.
Wow.
And I think that was, of course, it was God, but also it was everything together that she was here for the longest time. One of the doctors every time was like 2 or 3 times, she was already like, she was not responding. And they were telling me like, oh, in the next few hours. Okay. So, and the last time in November, I remember she has a really, really major seizure, 45 minutes seizure, not stopping. So we thought that I was it.
Yeah.
She was not responding. And I remember I went to my son, he already fixed everything for hospice because they said that's it. She has to go to hospice. So, okay. And the next day, remember?
Yes.
We showed up there. And I noticed, oh, my son, he told me, Mom, she kind of like, she knew we were here because he spent the night with her. And I said, are you sure? And he said, yes. So when I showed up and I look at her, I can see in her eyes. You see the expression of the person that she was happy to see me. She started talking with her. And I think you guys were there with me already that morning.
Yeah, in the morning. Yeah.
That she started moving.
Yeah.
Because something was bothering her.
Wow.
And I called my son right away and I said, Irving, they already set up everything in my house for hospice. And I said, I don't want nothing. Tell them cancel hospice. And he's like, Mom, please, you have to understand. And I know my son, I know his position. He's like, Mom, please, I know you want her, but please, that's it. And I said, Irving, she's responding, no. And I said, do me a favor, Irving, just today, tell them we're going to let him, because that day they were going to come and take her from the hospital to my house. And I said, please, give me one day. So, and in the next 2 hours, she was moving, and I find out that she has something here that it was bothering her.
Wow.
Anyway, by the end of the day, she was talking already.
Yeah, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
Because we invited the family. All the family was there. We're praying over her, and the doctors would come in. It was like, okay, guys, this might be it, right? And couple hours later, she would just wake up and start talking, and
Wow.
she did that couple of times where
Yes.
where they gave her at the beginning. I'm not sure, they gave her 4 months.
4 months.
4 months, and she went.
She had
4,
more than
4
4
years
months.
and a half.
4 years and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, like that time, it was like another 2 times I think before.
Yeah.
That it really
Yeah.
like we were like, that's it. She was not responding, and suddenly she was fine again. She was fine again. And so that time the doctor, he was like, oh my God, I don't even want to say nothing about Leslie. She has a special connection with God. I don't want to say nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that time that was amazing. And then by the end of the night, she was talking with everybody. And she
Making
was
jokes.
laughing, making jokes, like that. And then, but she forgot to eat. She couldn't swallow. So they wanted to do a special surgery for her to start eating. And I was like, oh my God, I was praying. Always for me praying. No, I don't want her to another surgery, please.
Something
So
else.
like 2 hours before they were gonna take her, she started eating like crazy. Eating. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I don't believe it, now. But yeah, so that was an amazing experience that we passed really with her. Many times God did a really big miracles for us
Yeah.
with her. Yeah, but that was crazy. And like I said, my boys, they were a big supporter there for us.
Yeah, I mean, she
Big
definitely
time.
felt love, I could only imagine when somebody has that support and that love, it's what keeps her going, and I
Yeah.
mean, 4 years after?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, wow. You don't think 4 years, you don't even think a year's a long time until you're like, wow, you think every day is your last day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If only we lived like every day could be our last day, but could you imagine the love, the laughter, the relationship she built? And it's sad to think that some things like hurt and suffering can either make a family come so united or can break it, right?
Yes.
And I always think that when all of the family believe in God and they believe in his miracles and are getting that peace from something else higher than just themselves, then they can be there for each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And they can really unite. because that's amazing. That's
What happened
amazing.
in this case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such an amazing story, and it really brings hope, and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
inspiration to really just the love you have and the support you have from family, because you don't always get that,
No,
you
yeah.
know? And it's just it's Jesus. You know what
Yes,
I mean?
it's
If it
everything.
wasn't if
And
it
I
wasn't
just have to tell you the most amazing thing that really makes me feel so good. The last 6 months that my daughter was here, after that seizure, she came back, yes, but of course she has a little uh, injury in her brain, because of that seizure. But the most amazing and beautiful thing is that after that, she forgot that she was sick. And
Wow.
also, she get a little damage in the area where the pain is. So my daughter, she never had a pain anymore after that.
Yes.
Wow.
She never suffered for a pain. She never took any more pills for pain. And
Mm.
she totally forgot about her that she was sick. Totally. Like,
Wow.
She was
it
just
was
living
amazing.
the
And she
days.
was just living her days very happy.
Yes,
You
thank
remember? She
God.
was very
Yes.
happy and very peaceful. And then,
Yeah.
I think those were her most happiest.
yeah, and I think that was the most beautiful gift that God gave to her, of course, but also to
Yes.
us, because we were part
Yes.
of them. I
Yeah.
could imagine how hard it was for me to let her go, really, because I went through a situation that I was not able to sleep. I
Yeah.
didn't want to sleep. Oh, in between this, I got married. I just remember.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I met this guy when few months before she started with all this, and he came here from Mexico. I got married. So my poor husband, really, because I'm thinking always like, poor in the sense that because he has to go through all this, and he didn't
Yeah.
have no wife, really,
Yeah.
Oh wow.
because I didn't have it.
Mhm.
I even few times I even mentioned to him like, I'm okay if you want to go, because sorry, but I only care about my daughter. I only want to take care of her. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know I've been selfish, but please, you have to understand me. Like, so I used to sleep with her, and then that time when they said it was nothing to do, blah blah. Every single night, I woke up many times through the night just to move her to make sure that she was breathing.
Mhm.
So that was the horrible time for me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I thought, I was, God, please make me feel good, because I was at work, and if my son was calling me, I know he was going to call me already to tell me that she was gone, things like that. So that was a horrible time. And really only praying, and God, he was the one, he gave me the peace to
Yeah.
understand that I have to be relaxed,
Mhm.
not knowing when it was going to be that moment, but just to live, to enjoy from her,
Yes.
whatever time she was going to be here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it finally happens. But it was hard. It was very hard. So, but now after all this, I realized and I said, wow, what a beautiful gift
Yeah.
that she didn't suffer
Yes.
anymore. She was 100% conscious until the last minute.
Yes.
She knew who everybody was next
Yeah.
to her,
Mhm.
every
And
single person.
And
Yeah.
Claudia, you mentioned something that I keep thinking about. You say like you can see that you can see God in your life now looking back before even the situation, right? And it almost seems like he was like you were living life, you were doing good, and he was just like preparing you. And then right before, right, you started going to church and you started
Yeah.
just talking to Aaron and Pam. And so now looking back, where can you see like that was God? Like, oh, that event was God. Like, where can you see God in other places in your life?
Since I was with my ex-husband, that he
Wow.
never killed me.
Wow.
No, really. I had a horrible time. And now I can see it, really. Even not only that, I tell you that many times raising my voice,
Mhm.
Mhm.
now I realize, now I can see things so
Clearly.
clearly.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was never pay attention before, but many times I was not like 3-4 days before my rent.
Mhm.
I didn't have money to pay the rent,
Wow.
and I'm always been in business.
Mhm.
So, and I remember
She's a
suddenly something
businesswoman,
happened,
guys.
and they were calling me. Oh, it was the business, and I had my rent already. That was
Yes.
just like, and just the thing that I'm telling you, that my kids, they're such a good boys.
Mhm. That is
That is
God in
one of
itself.
the most clear example. My kids, they were always by themselves. I used to
Wow.
travel a lot for my job. These kids, they were by themselves for
Yeah.
many days. They could be in the gangs. They could
They
be
could have
Yeah.
done so many other things.
any other things,
Yeah.
Mhm.
No,
But they were
my
just
boys, they
throwing
love
food to a
school.
dog.
They always been
Aw.
so good at school, like so good, like
And Bere actually finished
And Betty
school.
finished, like,
She finished
yes,
school
Yeah,
while she
she
was
talk
going
finished the
through.
school during the time that she was sick.
Yes.
talk yeah,
Wow.
talk
Yeah, she
Yeah.
graduated.
She
what
lived it
what is
up.
what did she graduate on?
Okay, first on criminal justice. That's
Criminal
when she was earlier, and then her second was paralegal.
Yeah.
She was
Wow.
about to graduate when she got diagnosed, and then it was the time during the cancer that when your mom was here,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that they told us that it was nothing to do. And that moment, the cancer, it was so bad in the brain because she has the metastasis. It went from the lungs to the brain.
Wow.
That's how we find out that she has cancer, because it started bothering the brain. So that time, it was so bad in the brain that they had she was forgetting things, and she was acting a little weird for like meantime, So after that, they gave her a treatment that it worked so good on her that she was perfectly fine. She went back to school, and we were taking her every day. One day Dorian, one day me, one day Irving. We were staying with her in school until she finished, and she graduated. She
And
finished.
she did it.
Wow.
Yes.
Talk about
So
support.
Yeah.
yeah, so I told you. So we were going to school every day.
I know.
We went back to school every day. All of
The
us.
whole family
Yes,
did.
the whole family.
Mm.
And that was another thing that the teacher was like, "Oh my God, Leslie, you are so lucky. Like, I don't think my brother will do such a thing for me,
Yeah.
And so, like I said, so just there, imagine that these boys, they were by themselves, her and these two kids, and look, they are so good. They are such a good kid. So I said, God was always with me,
Mhm.
but I just never seen that,
Yeah.
All her kids are in university studying and
Yeah,
doing
I
their
mean, like,
thing.
They're
these
graduating
two
this
boys, they're
year.
gonna
Smart
graduate
kids.
soon, so you guys are invited.
Yes,
I'm gonna
yes,
make a
yes.
big party for them in
Woohoo,
May.
yes.
Are we inviting it?
Yes,
Is,
yes.
is everybody invited?
Everybody
Thank
invited.
God.
Yes.
Everybody.
Hey, we're gonna post it up, guys. We're gonna post up
Yes.
the address. Everybody's invited.
Yes,
Nick,
it's
Nick,
Wow.
Nick is gonna bring the tío and the tía that are not really his. Yeah.
Or just start calling everybody Theo.
Yeah,
Theo.
just call
Okay.
tía. Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so
amazing.
yes, I
Yeah.
can now I can clearly see that God was always with me, like
Yes,
in
thank
many
God.
ways,
Thank God.
Yeah. That's
Well, now I'm a mother of more kids because I told you my sister passed away, so their boys are with me,
wow.
her two sons and her daughter.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you make such good kids. Might as well just take mine too. Mine when I have some. There you go. Can you make them like yours?
Yeah,
Can
and
it
really,
rub
like
off?
I know.
someone say that, like, "Oh, you made such a good kids," and I said, "No, I didn't do it by myself. That's for sure.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. If it
Wow.
wouldn't be for God, these kids God knows what they want."
Yeah.
Yeah, God's provision, God's protection.
Yes,
And I loved what you
yes.
said. I really do. How you're like, I loved her, but God loved her more.
Yes.
You know, God loves her
yes.
more.
Man,
And
that's-
at times
So hard to see that.
yeah, and at times we're just like, even like when things make us angry, I'm like, I'm so angry. It's like like injustice and things like that, or things that are not fair, things that we're like, why, And
Why?
it's like God
People
wants
say,
it
"Why
more.
God
Yeah,
do
God
this?"
wants it more. God wants your happiness more. God
Yes.
wants their happiness more. It's like he doesn't. I don't. He's just a good father. You know,
Yes,
that's what
definitely.
he
Yep,
is. I'm
amen
just
to
like,
that.
you're so perfect. Like, you know exactly what we need. And you don't give us what we want. You give us what
Yes.
we need,
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
it's just like he gave you peace, he gave your kids peace. Like, I mean, wow, what more can we ask? You know
And
what I
being in
mean?
church,
Yes.
it helps me to realize that, and I learned that because now for me it's easier to deal with things that, like, in
Yes.
other moments I will be maybe very upset.
Yes.
Now when
Mhm.
I feel frustrated for certain things, things happening still, and I'm like, hey, Claudia, relax. Like, just let him work. He's gonna.
Yes.
You just have to be relaxed, and
Mhm.
keep praying, and he knows what he's doing.
Mhm.
Yes.
But
Wow.
before it was hard for me to see that.
Yeah.
So now it's okay.
And
just
I
relax.
really admire, because you do seem very strong. I mean,
Yeah,
if your
she's
daughter was
incredible.
strong, I could only
Yep.
imagine how you are. She definitely was like looking up to you, you know what I mean?
It
And
was
she
her
got that
twin.
strong, strong, independent woman from you,
Yeah.
and to let go of control.
That's
Yeah.
the worst thing.
Yeah.
I can't sometimes.
It is.
Sometimes
It
I
is.
feel
It
like
is.
even like with teaching, I'm like, okay, like just let them color the way that they want to color, because I'm thinking, man, just color what I asked you to color in the lines the way I want it, and then we'll put it up, you know. And I'm just kind of like, oh, letting go of control is the
Yes.
hardest
That's
thing,
the hardest
especially
thing.
when you're like, no, this is what I had in mind, and this is what I expected, and the plan you had, you know, just like how you talked about, like we all say it. We all have a plan of like walking down the aisle and our parents
Yes.
walking us down the aisle, but
Yes.
we don't know
It doesn't
if we're
plan out
going to
that way.
get
Yeah.
there. And it's
Exactly.
so, and that's why it's like you live every day like if it's your last. You're happy, you're grateful. It's like it gives you this whole perspective of like nothing makes you as angry anymore. And if it does, it's like it's not even worth it.
Yeah,
I know what
exactly.
matters, you know?
Yes.
That's something that I try to. I always keep telling my husband because he has this really attitude, like, oh, he get, like that. And sometimes he's fighting for something. I'm like, "Ah, Ale, please, really?
Mm.
Like, come on. We went through all that and you're going to make all this big problem for this small thing? I'm like, no, please breathe and leave me
Yeah.
alone because I'm not in the mood. I don't want to fight. I'm so relaxed today,
Yeah,
like, come on.
that.
And I know, maybe, and I also understand other people because we can just talk about ourselves, but you really have to sometimes. Yeah, it's true that you learn for what you see in other people. Like
Mhm.
I said, Pam is always get
Yes.
inspired from her.
Mhm.
Like
Yes.
anytime I feel like that, I'm like, oh my god, look at her. And also I learn because sometimes when we are not like close to God, like me, sometimes we think that because they're really close to God, like nothing happened to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that thing when that happens to Pam, wow, it was a big lecture for me. Lecture
Mhm.
life. Yeah, like I learned so much. I remember listening to her
Yes.
dad saying that they like today we are really hurt and we're suffering.
Mm-hmm.
We're Christians and we are with God, but we are suffering still.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
like, and that was like, wow. So this is the reality of life. You're like, yes,
Yes.
you are with God, but also I feel that when
Things
we are
can
more
happen.
with God, He
More.
kind of sometimes like
Yes.
tests us like really hard,
Yeah.
because I remember after the thing happened with my sister, I feel like, oh, now when I was feeling a little bit better, suddenly happened the thing with my daughter, and then happened the thing
Mhm.
with my dad, you know, and I'm like, wow, like I think you really want me to learn something
Yeah.
with this,
Mm-hmm.
No,
so
and it's funny because I think I always say like the Christian life isn't for the weak.
Yes.
It's not.
It
It's
isn't.
hard.
yes,
It's
It's
hard
yes,
to
so
let
hard.
go of the plans and be
yes,
like, God, you know, and I'm like, God, take my plans, but not this one. Okay, just take those. Those you can do whatever you want. You can do what you want with my room, but just not with my whole life, you know? Like
Yeah.
we don't want to, and a lot of times it is like, I mean, I'm a firm believer that the closer you get to Christ, the more you're up for spiritual warfare, right?
Yeah.
mhm,
And it's because the enemy isn't. And then it was so funny. I was talking to Nick about it. I know that I watched this girl that really inspires me. It's Jackie Hill, right? And she talks about spiritual warfare on YouTube. And she says something that was so amazing. She said, "The enemy's not after your marriage, not after your kids, not after your business, right? Nor is it after your ministry. What the enemy's after is your faith in God."
that's truth,
Yeah.
very
And
Yeah.
truth,
and the enemy will use
Anything.
anything he
Yes.
can, something that's closest to you, so that
Yes.
you can one day be like, forget it, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not going to believe in you anymore. You
Yes.
didn't do this for me when I asked you to, you know? And to
Yes.
see your faith is really admiring and just like inspiring, because I mean, I bet you were like one day on your knees being like, save her, or she was, save me,
yeah,
you know? And I think of Jesus, how Jesus is like, let this cup just like pass me, you know? Like
Yes.
I don't want to. He literally cried and said like, I don't want to do this. If it
Yeah.
can, please let it pass me. And God's answer was still like,
The same.
it needs to be done.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
something so beautiful came out of it. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, what? You know,
Yeah.
it gets me excited because it gets me excited. And then it's something for us to always remember, because at times when we're like, no, I'm gonna give up. I'm gonna give up. And then we hear this, it gives other people hope. And this is why people want
Yeah.
to share testimonies. This is why you talking
This
to
is
other
why
people.
all
Yeah.
this
And
happened.
it's weird because you can see it. You can see it when you're like, I know how you're feeling, and they can feel like you know exactly how I'm feeling versus somebody being like, I'm so sorry. Like it's such a deep connection. Even with a stranger, I bet you can make a deep connection if
Oh
you're like,
yeah.
Yes.
I know what you're going through. It's like, oh my goodness, we're
Yeah.
friends.
No,
Consuela, or comadre, where are you?
Consuela.
Like,
and I tell you, like, it
Yeah.
happened to me in the store, like, I ended having this such a nice relationship now with these people that they come and they leave the store and they hug me
Yeah.
and that's so beautiful because I tell you that is really it's a hug
sincere
with
hug.
the
Yeah.
heart, really.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, like this. It's so nice. But also I understand when other people I don't know, I have like my neighbor after my daughter passed away, I went back to work and she came to say, oh, I'm sorry, I heard that this happened. Okay. But how it happens? And I said, oh, mm.
Yeah.
And I'm
Well,
like, oh my God.
Um,
I said, did you mind if I don't say how it happens? I don't want to talk about it. And she's like, oh, no, no, no. I know. I mean, thank God you have other kids because like, oh no, she said, I don't know what happened to me because I only have my daughter. I know for you it's easier because you have other kids. And I'm like, oh my God,
It's not
And
easier.
I just started, and I was just thinking in my head, I'm like, oh,
some
Claudia,
people.
that is not, just don't say anything because
Yeah.
she doesn't understand because
She
she's not in
doesn't.
your
Yeah.
shoes and it's not her fault.
Mm-hmm.
And I always keep saying to my God, you are with God. So remember, like,
Mhm.
and
Enduring
it
and
was
Irving
funny,
weren't like Betty.
Yeah.
Nobody's like Betty.
So I was like, okay. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah. Thank God I have my kids, I'm
but
fine. I'm doing good.
it's
Oh
just,
my
man, it's
gosh.
amazing how like
People.
your faith, you're seeing it, you like when you go back and start like, well, she asked you like, when did you see God? And it's like, well, I've seen him since I was with my ex-husband, right? But it's just like your faith, like it's such a blessing just to
Mhm.
see, because we
Yes.
we we got a lot of people at church that they've been Christians for or believers for X amount of years, and they don't have half the faith that she has.
Mhm.
So to me, too, it's like it's mind boggling for me to
Mhm.
see this.
Yes.
Like, wow, like I know God did this for a reason. Like how like that we're talking about the word elevated, Nick, and
Mhm.
that faith is like elevated faith. It's like
Yes.
to know that God has a bigger plan for your life and for the lives of your kids, and to say that about God, you love them more than I could ever love them.
Yes. Yes.
That right there, it's such a powerful statement because
Yes.
it's true.
Yeah.
It's truth, but it's so hard to believe it,
Mhm.
and to lose and to give that control to him.
Yes.
And it's just incredible that going through what you went through with Bere, with Yolanda, with or my uncle. It's just you're still here giving praise to God.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that
Yeah.
that's inspiring itself. So it's
No, yeah.
It's
amazing.
still hard. Like she
Yes.
just saying, it's so
Mhm.
hard to just let go things.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
it's something that I'm fighting it still every single day of my
Mhm.
life. I do it, like I said, because I know that's the way it is.
Mhm.
But sometimes it still is like, I have to repeat it to myself. This is not under control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not, you just let him work. I know he's going to do good things.
Mhm.
Yes.
And
Yeah, I
that's how
mean,
it
And
we
is.
it's
he
we
continues to show us good things. I think even when these things happen, he continues to show us little things, little gifts for us. I think, and he keeps reminding us that there's always a reason for the things, and that we are one day going to see everybody once again.
like
Even,
you said, it was a like she was a gift that he gave to you.
Yes.
It's like you already weren't taking ownership. It's like, no, she was yours in the first place, and
exactly.
I
Yes.
was like,
Yes.
wow. Me, I'm
Right.
like, this is mine.
We
Okay, it's yours.
do think like that because we want them to be here. We
Yeah.
want to be able to be in their presence at all times,
Mhm.
but we have to understand that God is bigger.
Mhm.
God is bigger and he loves them more than we do. That's the hardest thing to do, I think, and especially as moms, I think we worry too much
No,
about
yes,
how
we
their
really
lives are
are.
gonna be, where they're gonna go, like, all these things are always in the back of your mind, but once you release that control, I think you feel a lot more peaceful.
Mm. A mom's life is hard.
Right?
Even now, I seen it like they always
Yes.
inspire me like a lot because right now I have a situation in my house with my nephew, and to me he's like my son. Or I feel that responsibility because me and my sister we were like
Mhm.
together, like so
Yes.
much.
Yeah.
So now with her kids, I feel that responsibility, you know. So he's um, drinking a lot of like bad, you know, already out of control. And now, when I was leaving, I noticed that he drank, and
Mhm.
he's barely like 2 days or 3 days out of they did the detox 1 week, and of course sometimes I get frustrated, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and but believe me, it really works for me. Like the same thing I said, Claudia, this you can really not do much
Mm-hmm.
anymore. You know,
You
just give
can.
it to God.
Yeah.
Pray for him every single day. Don't and the fact like not to be mad because in my house everybody is not like I understand they're frustrated. I cannot ask so much for my kids because being in the situation with my daughter. Now after all that, I understand that my kids they don't want to be again in the same thing. You know,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to finish what they're doing, their school, their things. So I cannot ask a lot of help from anybody else because they're already kind of like tired, you know, like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't want to understand, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay. So me as the side of a mother, I always like to listen to him because I understand a little bit more. Not the only problem is the only problem is not the alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It's emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
He
It
lost
always
his
is.
mom.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Um, he's gay, which I think is another fact to face for him because they don't feel as secure as everybody about normal
Yeah.
humans, you know? To me, it's the same. It's just a different um, take or election their lives. But um, for him, I know he's facing all this, you
Mm-hmm.
know, this, that. And then now my daughter, because he's upset of all of these things together.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And so today, when I was leaving, I noticed and I said, "Did you drink?" And he's like, "No." And I said, "Don't lie to me. I mean, I smell.
Mm-hmm.
So just tell me the truth. I mean, who I am, what am I going to do?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, a little bit." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Please just think about your section that you were supposed to go to the rehab. Uh, just think about it." And he's like, "Thank you because you're never upset with me." And I said, "No, how am I gonna be upset
Yeah,
with you?
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't.
But please just think about it because you know that's the best thing that I want for you is to see you doing your life like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And you know you are so young, so just just do it, please." "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay." So that was another thing that it was hard for me to really like. I know that it's not on my control. I know that I'm not the one
Yeah.
I decide. God, he's on top of that,
Wow.
and that's
Mhm.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
something.
I think it's hard watching our loved ones go through things because not only does he go through it, but everybody else does too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes they don't see it that way because they can't control like all their emotions that they're feeling throughout everything or expressing themselves in the correct way. And I think that's why some of the people always lead to drugs because they really can't express their emotions and the things that they have gone through.
Yeah, and I think they need a
A
lot of
lot of
love,
love.
a
Yeah.
lot of love. So I always mention to him like, Eder did it. You
Mhm.
can do it too. And he's like, oh, but you think so, Tia? You think he was like me? And I said, yes. No, yeah, because
Yeah,
like,
He
it
was difficult too.
yeah,
Just as normal.
you know, and I always say, just pray to God. And I said, when those moments that you feel that you really need to drink, just pray to God.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's like, okay. And I said, no, do it. Believe me, it's gonna work. It's
Mhm.
gonna work. And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
No, it's because you're very strong. No, I'm not as strong. The other day I was so frustrated, really, and I was so upset when I get to the house. And I found him really drunk that day and crying. And I'm like, what are you crying now? What for? And he's like looking at me because I never talked to him like that, you know? And I said, stop crying already and stop drinking. And I went to my room and then I feel bad, So I started crying myself in the room. It was one of those days, I don't know what happened, but I feel so bad. So I started crying, crying, crying. And I go there and I said, Jair, I'm sorry. I had a really hard day. And I remember he came to me and he hugged me. He says like, no, tia, you're very strong. And I realized that none of us will pay attention. If I never seen you feel bad. And I'm like, yeah, I feel bad many times.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, but you look so strong. And I said, no, I'm not strong. I need sometimes you hug me too.
Mhm.
Sometimes I feel like you.
Yeah.
Like very,
Yeah.
very, yeah. I mean, it happens to me once in the church. You remember? I called Heather one Sunday. I feel horrible that day.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
said, oh my God, that I feel so bad. I miss my daughter so much. I feel
Mhm.
that was the time that I was like, and I didn't want to get to the church. And I'm like, Claudia,
Yeah.
that's the best place that you can be now.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I called him and I said, I'm late. I just feel horrible.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go there now, but I don't want to do nothing. I just want to cry. And it was
And I
so
think
good.
sometimes we need those days. We need
Yes.
the days just to cry and just to let it all out and just be okay with that. And I think that's one of the hardest things, to call somebody and tell them, hey, I'm feeling this way and I really, really need someone right now.
Mhm.
And that was the best thing you did,
Yeah.
I think. Did you feel
hallelujah.
better after?
Of course. Yeah, that was so beautiful. Yeah, that's I mean, I love church. I know I have to really get into it more.
Yeah, but I mean, it's little by little, it's you know, your testimony, what you're doing church at work. You're doing
Mhm.
church and sharing your testimony. That's where you're doing church. Sometimes we believe and think that church is the building, and we do say that a lot where our church is wherever we go.
Wherever we
Yeah.
go.
Church is not just confined in this space. So you're doing church at work, you're doing church at your home,
Or
you're doing
everybody you speak.
yeah, that's church. That's what
Yeah.
God did. That's what Jesus did. He didn't just stay in one place and everybody's just like, "Oh, come to me." And not like he would literally walk
Yeah.
and spread the word and spread the gospel, and that's what he did, and that's what you're doing.
Yeah,
So
and that's what Pastor Freddy says once, and it was really like, I was like, yeah, that's true. That he says that we don't really have to go like everywhere to tell people come to church.
Yeah.
Like they see your life, how you live your life, and that's
They see
what is
Jesus in it,
attracted
yeah.
to them.
Speaks for it.
Yeah, and I
Uh-huh.
seen it in my friends. Many of my friends, they come to me and they ask
ask
me,
you.
"Oh, invite me to your church." And I'm like, "Oh, because you look so good." And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, yes, believe in God because God is with you, and once you made that relation with Him,
Mhm.
it's different. It's so
Yeah.
amazing."
Yes.
And it's an ongoing relationship, It's
Yes.
he gets it. He gets it when you have bad days and he's there, you know what I mean? And like I'm saying, I think of him as a good father. He's
Yes.
always there, like
Yeah.
a dad just being there. And like a dad, if you need to fall, he'll let you fall. And it's like when you're ready, he's gonna be there. He's gonna be like, okay, you want me to help you? Let me help you. It's never just let me teach you how to do it so that you can
Exactly.
avoid things.
Yeah.
It's always like, hey, and that's what I think is so beautiful because he gives us that free will. Like we get to choose, you know what I mean? He's like,
Yes.
you can look for me and do good, you know what I mean? But he's not promising like a perfect life,
Exactly.
He's
Yeah.
promising a life that death will not have its sting. It will literally be Jesus and you won't feel the death because I've seen it. I've seen it where like my uncle died maybe like a couple years ago. One of my uncles died a couple years ago and my tia just she couldn't keep it together. And every single time I saw her I would just cry. I would cry and cry and it was still hard for me because I still couldn't believe like my uncle was gone. I was
Yeah.
like, what? Just I'm not gonna see. And it was Yoni, right? My tío Yoni, and I'm like, what? He's not gonna pelarme, las cosas. And I was like, what? And so it was hard for me, but it was just still so amazing to see how when she started going to church, wow, the burden of like ay, pero Cristo que está conmigo. You know what I mean? Like it's like
Yes.
it's so beautiful. Like death doesn't have its sting. You're gonna see it. You're gonna
Yes.
go through it. You're
Yeah.
gonna go through a bunch of things, and sometimes, like you said, maybe just a little bit more. But because of Jesus, you have the strength to do it. Now you have the choice. Pick a life where you're gonna both have the same life, but one's gonna give you peace, or the other one's gonna be like, it's gonna
Exactly.
be hurt, full of
Yes.
regret, full of
Yes.
hate, and that just kills you where you're like, "I don't wanna be here anymore," you know?
It's
But God's good.
I have to say
Amen. Always.
Amen.
God
Yes.
has done so many incredible things. I mean, just to place everything so perfectly,
Mm,
in how our relationship was and what they were going through. He just already knew and put everything into place of the people we needed to meet, the people we needed to be around with. And I think there was so much support, just about like the communities we have built. There was so much support around people to help us and encourage us with everything that was going on and everything that's going on. I mean, things are always going to still happen, but the fact that God has built these people around our lives to encourage us and to lead us on, I think has been incredible. And I wouldn't change it for the world. Just being able to be part of all this and, just seeing the outcome of everything.
mhm,
I
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry. It's just great, like to be able to be part and seeing the growth in everyone, because you pray for everybody
mhm,
and you want to make sure that things come out great. And when they don't, for God to still show his love and show his greatness upon everyone just makes it that much better, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry.
Don't be sorry.
That's
Sorry.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good, man. Oh man, thank you. Man, I feel like I always say this in every podcast. We can be here 2-3 hours and
Yeah.
talk,
Yeah.
and this is and share our perspectives and stories and everything. And but it's just everything that Claudia's shared, everybody's shared up is just amazing,
Mhm,
Mhm.
and in closing, just want to let you know again that God's gonna use you to
mhm,
to move
Millions.
hearts
Yeah.
that are like stone.
Yeah.
He's done an amazing job with you, and
Yeah.
you're doing it now. And I know that God is using you right now, and I know you know that.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing, because I know you know that.
Yeah.
And I see it and the family sees it. I just want to thank you for being an incredible mom,
mhm,
Yeah.
for
Oh man.
being an
Thank you.
incredible human being,
Yes.
because you could have been the other person. It could, and you would have been in your full right to be the other person,
Yeah.
where you could have given up, where you could have said, well, whatever, I don't need to do none of this. But you didn't.
mhm,
You kept going and you kept going and you're still going, you know? So I want to thank you for being a beautiful example of what a human should be,
Thank you.
and what a mother should be, what a friend, what a aunt, what just everything, and I know that at times it can be hard. And I know that at times you don't want to get up from bed and go to work or drive. I know that, but you still do it.
Yeah.
That's what's encouraging to me, that I know you as my tia, as my cousin, but other people see that,
mhm,
Yeah.
and you're a blessing to our family. You're a
Thank
blessing
you.
to your kids. You're a blessing to everybody that's coming. It's gonna come in contact with you. I know that this is not just gonna stay here. I know for a fact that, man, people are gonna just come and get insight. You have beautiful insight of what a mother went through with somebody, with you, like with your daughter. So you're gonna
Yes.
share it, and you're willing to share it.
Yes. Yes.
That's amazing. So
mhm,
I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
yeah,
Thank you for allowing us to hear it, and
yes,
and sharing it with the world.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. And as my tia, thank you for
Thank you.
being there always.
Yes.
And you're just such an amazing person. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank you,
guys.
guys.
Thank you.
It's good. You're okay, Nick? You said like 4 words today. That's
Thank you,
unusual.
Bing, too.
Thank you, Nick, for
Thank
being
you.
being quiet today.
I got yelled at for talking too much.
Is that what you guys said last time?
That's what we
Oh,
that's what we
that's
set you
right.
next to him just in case he was gonna talk too much. Just
That's
poke
right.
him.
Just go like this.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much for
Thank you
for
for the
tuning in.
invitation.
Yeah. Thank you so
Anytime,
much.
whenever
Yeah.
you want to come back.
Yes.
Yeah, we gotta do like a part 2 to this. Because this is
Yes.
I know this is only a little bit.
I know.
just a snip pick. Thank you so much.
Let's do a full day.
Love you guys.
Love you. Yes.
Like a live show, right?
A live show, yeah. There you go.
Thank you guys.
From
Thank
New
you for tuning
York.
in from New York, from LA.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Arroz con
Every day. Bye-bye.
FloVation.
Bye.
Out.
Bye.